You get to know you.
That's not cool.
2 hours I got him.
Council up here, I like your Spartan colors.
Well, that's it. I try to, kind of represent all the city schools. My navy and yellow one. Back. Hello, James. What's up, Rick? You got your yellow and blue. That's good enough. Okay, we're all set. Yeah. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. This is the Personnel Subcommittee. I'll have the clerk call the roll. We will probably see another counselor or two before we end, but thank you. Ms. Rowe?
Council LaPierre?
Present.
Present. Council Net? Absent. Council Walsh? Absent. Councilor Chakoudas? Absent. Council Starbird?
Present.
Present. Council Field?
Present.
Present.
Thank you. Before we get started, I just want to recognize our Personnel Director, Drew Russo, has joined us, as has our Chief Planner, Aaron Clausen, and we are here to recognize and introduce ourselves to the city's newest public employee, and that is of our Arts and Cultural Planner, Miss Lucretia Thompson. So it's wonderful to have Lucretia with us. She was appointed by the mayor last month, and I'm sure she's off to a very busy start in our city. As you know, this was one of our priorities as a council, creating the planning department, and we are thrilled to see that we have now Aaron with us, and Lauren Drago, and now Lucretia joining this really, what I think is a dynamic group that's going to be doing really great things for our city. So we wanted, with that said, I'm sure if councilors have questions of you, Lucretia, we really wanted to spend a few minutes with you and just getting to know you. We know you came from another state, and maybe you could share with us some of your background and what led you to this position. If you'd like to take the mic, obviously this is televised on our Lynn Community Television for the general public and residents of Lynn, and if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, that would be terrific. Thank you.
Sure. Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself, and thank you all for the very warm welcome. That's all I've been getting since I've been here. Started last week, and you're right, hit the floor running. Lots to do, but lots of really wonderful things going on in the city. I'm from Milwaukee and have had a wonderful career in art and culture, working for, most notably, our city's destination management organization as the first cultural tourism manager that we had in the state of Wisconsin. And in that role, it was very similar to the arts and culture planner here. It was introducing visitors to Milwaukee and showing off our wonderful, rich cultural and performing arts offerings. Most recently, I've been working in higher education, but really had a desire to get back into the arts and culture. So especially around like community development and civic vitality and also economic development. So I saw this position and went for it, and thank goodness you guys chose me. Lynn is a beautiful city with so much going on and so many opportunities. I couldn't be happier. And my team, Aaron and Lauren, they've been wonderful. So.
That's terrific. Thank you. Thank you very much, too. And I would be remiss, Lauren is joining us as well, your other colleague, so I missed her in the opening. So welcome. And any questions from fellow councilors? Or?
She's too new.
Too new. We're going to let you go. So
All right.
breaking you in, but we look forward to a really great relationship, a working relationship with this subcommittee on personnel, but the whole council as a whole as well. And I'm sure you'll see a lot of us out and about at different community events that you'll be at, and we look forward to, as I said, a very productive relationship going forward. So thank you for making the time to join us.
Thank you.
And as I said, we look forward to working with you.
All right. Same here. Thanks
All
so
right.
much, everybody.
Thank you. Any other business? Was the only thing on our agenda tonight?
That's it.
All right, motion to adjourn is in order, made by Counsel Staubach, seconded by Counsel Field. All those in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Motion adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on. Yep.
Good evening. Welcome to the Ways and Means Committee meeting. Madam Clerk, could you please read? Roll call, please. Thank you so much.
Counsel Net?
Present.
Present. Counsel Staben?
Present.
Present. Counsel Barton?
Present.
Present. Counsel Chakutis? Absent. Counsel Seer? Absent.
Okay, could you please read the transfer?
Okay. To appropriate the following funds, certified $258,853 for the 2022 Summer Youth Works jobs, certified $29,000 for the disbursement and use of COVID-safe cooling strategies funding program, certified $125,000 for the Early Childhood Prevention Grant Program, certified $208,000 for the Glean K through 5 grant program, certified $200,000 for the 21st CCLC SALT grant program, certified $123,521 for the Gateway City PAC Summer Grant Program, certified $147,367 for the Barry Park Infrastructure Grant Program, certified $38,606 for the Proficiency-Based Outcomes in Language other than the English Grant Program, certified $4,320 for the Teacher Diversity Summer F22 Grant Program, certified $1,616,962.41 for the Shuttered Venture Operations Grant Program, certified $100,000 for the 2021 Community Planning Grant Program, certified $30,000 for the installation of benches and shade trees on the commons for the city elderly to enjoy. Those are all of the appropriations.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis, absent. Counsel Seer, absent. We have laid over transfers from July 13th meeting. $900,000 to fund statutory workers' comp fund, $100,000 to fund statutory unemployment benefits funds, $209,500 to fund statutory public safety injured on duty medical expenses fund, $109,500 to fund statutory public safety injured on duty medical expenses fund.
So what's the wish committee?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Seer absent. Next, we have order to request the DPW Commissioner to look into the feasibility of installing 3D crosswalks and report back to the City Council.
What's the wish committee?
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Seer absent.
Next, please.
Next is ordered that the city clerk be directed to advertise the meetings of the qualified voters of the city of Lynn to be held in several polling places designated by the warrant for the city preliminary election on Tuesday, September 14th, 2021, and the final election on November 2nd, 2021. Polls will open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m., and all citizens will, in the precinct in which they are entitled to vote, between said hours, give their votes for mayor, councilor at large, ward councilor, and school committee. Polling locations are Ward 1, Precinct 1, Shoemaker School, Ward 1, Precinct 2, 3, and 4, Sisson School, Ward 2, all precincts, St. Pius Lower Church, Ward 3, all precincts, Marshall Middle School, Ward 4, all precincts, Harrington School, Ward 5, all precincts, Lynn Tech Annex, Ward 6, all precincts, Lynn Tech Fieldhouse, and Ward 7, all Bree Junior High.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please, on all votes. Okay.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Seer absent. And finally, we have
Resolution, yes.
resolution. Resolution that the City of Lynn file and accept grants with and from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs for the Parklands Acquisition for Communities Program for improvements to Barry Park. Whereas Barry Park is a treasured community-wide set asset and the improvement to this recreational area is a city priority, as evidenced by the most recent open space and recreation plan. Whereas Barry Park is dedicated to park and recreation purposes under MGL Chapter 45, Section 14, and Barry Park's ultimate restoration guided in principle by both user and neighborhood requests and/or city's open space and recreation plan will greatly enhance this facility by removing inaccessible and unsafe bleachers that block off access to the park, providing new accessible bleachers paths and park entrances and shade trees. The overall cost and fiscal budget constraints prevented the city from proceeding forward with the implementation of this project, whereas the project was viewed as a series of phases to be implemented over time by priority as fiscal resources become available, with intention of securing grant funding when and if available to assist in this effort, whereas the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs is offering reimbursable grants to cities and towns to support the preservation and restoration of urban parks throughout the Parkland acquisitions and renovations for community grants program. Whereas this phase of the Barry Park Improvements Project will cost a total of $580,000, and the city will appropriate 100% of the total project cost.
God
Now,
bless you.
I got one more.
Okay, good.
Now,
God
therefore,
bless
be
you.
it that the mayor be and is hereby authorized to file and accept grants from the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. The mayor be and are hereby authorized to take such actions that are necessary to carry out the terms, purposes, and conditions of this grant to be administered by the Office of Community Development, that this resolution shall take effect upon passage.
So what's the wish committee?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Seer absent.
Okay, any new business?
No new business.
What's the wish committee?
Motion to adjourn.
Your second adjourn? All right, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. Motion adjourned.
brought Brian. Yep. We can get started, right?
Okay.
Yep. Utilities.
Anybody else want to join us? Councilor Net?
All set? Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Present.
Present. Counsel Lozey? Absent. Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Field?
Present.
Present. Okay, first petition, petition for an existing conduit on State Street and to place a proposed 3x3 manhole over the conduit to provide service to number 1 through 51 State Street.
Anybody here to speak in favor?
Good evening, Dave Llewellyn, Comcast, Woburn, Mass. I'd like to speak in favor of the Comcast petition to install a manhole and conduit system on State Street to provide service to 1 through 51 State Street.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? That part of the hearing is closed. Anybody wishing to speak in opposition? Anybody in opposition? Anybody in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve?
The motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is Extenet Systems, a petition for permission to construct and operate small cell wireless telecommunications in the public way attached to existing utility poles at the following 21 locations.
Let's read them as a whole, and then if there's any that
Okay.
have to be called out afterwards, we can do that.
Okay. Ward 3, 62 Lewis Street. Ward 4, 70 Rogers Ave, 165 Washington Street. Ward 5, Blake Street at 7 Willow Street. Broad Street at 210 Market Street. 145 Broad Street, 3 City Hall Square, 560 Essex Street. Exchange Street at Mount Vernon Street. 33 Johnson Street, 85 Liberty Street, 120 Monroe Street. Tremont Street at 57 Market Street. 170A Union Street, 452 through 548 Union Street. Ward 6, 18B Alley Street, 140 South Common Street, 819 Weston Ave, 836 Weston Ave. Ward 7, 200 O'Callahan Way, Sadler at 275 Walnut Street.
All right, anyone wishing to speak in favor of any of those petitions? Hello?
Good afternoon. Rosanna Ferranti on behalf of Extenet.
Okay. Can you just give us a quick description again? I know you've been here before, just so people know at home what's going on.
Yes, so Extenet is proposing a small cell installation at these locations on the utility pole or a streetlight pole. We have worked with DPW and streetlights to get approval for the design for the streetlight pole locations. And basically, these small cell locations are to help offload current locations all around the city where customers are having problems with using their phones in terms of coverage.
Okay, all right. If you just have a seat for a second, in case anyone has any questions, that'd be great. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Is there anybody in opposition to any of these petitions? If you come up to the podium, just state your name and address and
Hello, my name's John Toohey,
And
and
I'm Linda Toohey from 275 Walnut Street in Lynn.
thanks for the opportunity to share our concerns today.
Yep.
So would like to suggest that maybe another location is identified. You know, we take a lot of pride in maintaining our house, and I think it's going to be unsightly as it is. There's transformers all along the area. I think it would just add to the overall unsightliness of the electrical power and the antennas.
And we feel that perhaps with having that at our location, it could be harmful when we go to sell our property and decrease the value. We're also concerned that once they put in the 4G, that they'll leave room for 5G when that becomes available. And will they notify any of us abutters, or will that just be something that they do? We're also concerned about any radiation. We hear pros and cons on it. I don't think anything is definite. I've heard that the FCC said right now it's okay. But if 5G goes in, and it's only 4.5 feet from our property line, but it is 49 feet from our living quarters. So we are opposed, and we're wondering, I know the 200 O'Callahan Way is in front of the two schools with at least 300 feet apart. We were wondering if, I know it takes a while and they're looking for the best locations, but a block away is Fry Park. And there's telephone poles in the center there that wouldn't be anywhere near 49 feet. It would be at least 100, 150 feet from the nearest house. And no one lives at the school and no one lives at the park 24/7 like we do with our home. And we want to thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Okay, have a seat. What we'll do is we'll ask some of those questions to them, okay? Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Could you come back up for 1 second? Thank you. And maybe just, could you address any of the concerns they have, or if you have any suggestions, or that'd be great. Thank you.
So there are a lot of factors that go into selecting a pole, and so although it may seem as though you can go on any pole, we really can't go on any pole. It's driven primarily from the RF engineering group in terms of where the need is for service. Customers want seamless service. They want to be able to use their phones, and so there's areas called hotspots where they, like I said, the engineers identify as places to locate. The other factor that goes into these locations may be licensing or structural, or there's other things with the poles that are not just engineering driven. So we did look at this area. We initially had identified a different location, but it was on private property, which did not work. And so we did actually work to try to find another location that was best suited. As you know, the FCC regulates us on RF emissions, on interference, on health is not a factor in the consideration. There's regulations that the companies must adhere to in order to be safe. So we can't really address that outside of the FCC regulations that exist for the companies. And we do have an FCC compliance report we can provide to the city, as well as a statement regarding interference for any in-building systems, as well as if there's any issues with noise, we also have that statement. So we're trying to do our due diligence as best as possible for the city and for the residents.
All right, thank you. Thanks for that. Any other?
Can I ask one question while you're up there?
Yep, go ahead, Mr. Field.
Sorry. So when you did look at that specific location, were there other locations that weren't as effective or just won't work at all?
So this location, although I think, the property line, I believe, I can't remember how many feet, 4.5 feet. However, the structure is 49 feet. And so we're very sensitive to how far the pole is from a structure. And so 49 feet is a pretty good distance from the pole.
Right, but the other locations that could be used, were they not as effective, or they just wouldn't work if it was moved to another location?
Right, so that's why. So what we do is we try to find the best location,
Right.
and we did look at another location which did not work, and so we moved to this location.
Okay, so you looked at one other location?
Yes.
Just so I have it clear. 'cause
Oh,
we
yeah,
have to
no
vote.
problem, no.
You looked at one other location. It wouldn't work, or it wouldn't work as well as
No, it
proposed?
wouldn't, it did not work.
It wouldn't work. Okay.
Typically, the companies don't want to keep moving locations, obviously, so we moved for a reason, because obviously it extends the time frame.
Now, if this location was denied, how does it affect all the other locations that are proposed here?
I would have to defer to my RF engineering team on that. I wouldn't be able to speak to that.
So just a suggestion here, especially with that one, it seems to be some questions I think that you might be able to answer for the people that are here. Maybe this is one of the ones we table, just for a little more information, if you'd be amenable to that, just to try to, so just this way we can get the information that they're asking for. They might, see that and be a little more comfortable with it or not, and I think that's something we could probably do. Does that sound amenable
No, I
to
think
that?
that's perfectly fair. I think
Okay.
there are two other locations that are also kind of on that tabled
Correct.
route, so we
Correct.
can take that route, it's fine.
All right, thank you, thanks. Any other discussion on any of these? I did speak to Councilor Jacutis. She had asked that Relay Street and Johnson Street be tabled as well, so if someone would like to add the location at Sadler and Walnut Street as a table along with those and make a motion?
I'll make that motion
Make a
to
motion.
table those specific locations and a motion to approve the others.
And we'll make a motion to approve the other ones? Okay.
Correct.
All right, we have a second?
Second.
Do we have to vote on those separately because some of them are tabled?
Okay, so we'll take the ones that, we do the ones that are tabled first, which is going to be Relay Street, Johnson Street, and then Sadler at Walnut. So make a motion to table those.
Motion to table.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so those are tabled. The wish of the committee.
Motion to approve the rest remaining.
Motion, second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right, thank you.
Motion to approve. Motion to adjourn.
No new
Look,
business.
we have other ones, other stuff on here, so.
I think that's it, right?
They could just trade out business cards so they can get in touch with each other. You could ask them just to trade business cards so they could discuss that. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, this couple.
Yeah, they're just gonna get Thank you.
Do we have anything else?
Yeah, what, we have other stuff here?
Nope.
That's it?
We have a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn?
Yep.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.
Do you have that? Because I do.
Yep, I do.
Okay, all four.
Yep, I got 4.
Okay. It just came in today. Okay. All right, licensing committee for 5 PM, or just a couple minutes after that. Roll call, please.
Counsel Field?
Present?
Present. Counsel Hogan?
Present.
Present. Counsel Lozey? Counsel Lozey? I thought he was here. Absent. Counsel Net?
Present.
Present. Counsel Walsh?
Present.
Present. Okay, we have new taxi licenses. We have Adid Arias Frias, 7 Cressy Place, apartment number 2.
Is Mr. Frias here?
Nope.
Nope. What is the wish of committee?
Motion to table.
Motion to table, do we have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's tabled.
Rosebert M. Sherry, 15R Lyman Street, rear 1.
Is Rosebert here?
Second.
What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to table.
Motion to
Second.
table, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll table that. 1, 2.
Okay, we have Windir Gonzalez and Casion, 500 Essex Street, number 49.
Is Winder here? Winder is not here. What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to table.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Tabled. Thank you.
We have Zal Perez, 77 Center Ave, apartment number 1.
Is Zal here? What is the wish of the committee?
Not doing too good tonight. Make a motion to table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We
Tabled.
have
Thank you.
new livery license for Kelly A. Marrero, 23 Nahant Street, apartment number 3. Kelly?
Is Kelly here? Kelly Marrero. What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to table.
We have a motion to table. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion is tabled. Well, the rest we'll take as a whole if we can.
Nope, we have a
sorry.
new secondhand article license
Okay.
at 528 Eastern Ave, Macava Technology, Melvin A. Vasquez. Melvin A. Vasquez?
Melvin here?
Nope.
Make a motion to table.
Motion to table?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's
Okay,
tabled.
we have 2 new food trucks for the Manning Field Summerfest with vaccinations, DPW, and Tufts Lynn Community Health Center.
We're going to vote on these individually?
Yeah, Boston Coffee Rescue, Victor Bravo. For both of them, okay. And Tacos, Calado, Cindy Marie Lopez Sanchez.
Okay, if you can come to the,
Speak for both.
yeah, if you can just state your name and your address, please.
Hi, I'm Saeeda Rahman. My address is 113 Bowler Street.
Thank you, Saida.
So I have site maps just so you guys can kind of see where they go.
Excellent, I'll leave that with the clerk.
Yep.
Should I give you guys some more? I don't know.
Yep. Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the Lynn Summerfest is supposed to be a cultural festival and celebration for the city of Lynn. Our goal was to create a space for the Lynn community to come together and make vaccines readily available. Previous initiatives demonstrate that having vaccines available in a place where someone is already attending increases vaccination likelihood. Our partners are Lynn Community Health Center, Girls Inc., Beyond Walls, Creative Collective, The Wandering Stage, and the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. If you take a look at the site map, our food trucks will be going to the back of the parking lot. It is the orange/reddish triangles. So both of them, Tacos Radicco and Boston Coffee Rescue, will both be going to the back. We did get the event approved by the Stadium Commission yesterday. So everything, we shared with them the site map, we shared with them all of the information, and everything is approved. They've also gone through all of the food inspection, and our permit is already paid for, and so is our licenses are also paid for by HT, which is who I work with a third party, who's our clients are Tufts and DPH as well.
Excellent, excellent, thank you. What was the wish of the committee?
One
We have any
question,
questions?
just what's the date?
August 14th. I have
Okay,
flyers.
all right, that's great.
Okay.
That's it, I just want
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion
Second.
approved. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
Okay, we have renewals.
Take them as a whole if we can. Motion. We have a motion to take them as a whole. Councilor Hogan.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion, take them as a whole.
Thank you. Second. All in favor? Take them as a whole. Yep. Motion.
Motion adjourned.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no. Sorry, we have a couple of canning dates too.
Pushing
Want to
it,
read
pushing
those?
it.
I can read them, yeah. We have
Okay.
four canning. Knights of Columbus, October 9th, 10th, 11th, 2011. What is the wish of the committee on Knights
Motion
of Columbus?
approved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have Solomini Charitable Fund, December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Motion approved.
Motion
Second.
approved. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained on my part. Please. Lynn Public Schools, Steampunk Tigers Robotics Team, September 17th and September 24th, consecutive weekends. What is the wish of the committee?
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. And we have Eastland Popwana on August 27th, 28th, and 29th.
Motion
What is the wish of the committee?
What'd you say, Hung?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? We have no other items on our agenda. What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Adjourn. Second, all in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, guys.
No.
I'd like to call the Public Property and Parks Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Counsel Staben?
Present.
Present Counsel LaPierre.
Present.
Present Counsel Calucci.
Present.
Present Counsel Walsh.
Present.
Present Counsel Field.
Present.
Present.
Great, thank you very much. Sorry for the late start, and we have quite an agenda here before we get on to the full council meeting. First item on the agenda is a request from Deborah Marita to use the front steps of City Hall and the Johnson Street parking lot on September 12th for use in the Guatemalan Parade. Is there somebody here that can speak on this? We have let them use the lot in the past. And we did check, and there are no conflicts with the auditorium that night.
I would entertain a motion to approve on past practice, Mr. Chairperson.
Okay, thank you, Counsel LaPierre. Seconded by Counsel Calucci. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field.
Yes. Okay, number 2 is discussion regarding the proposed easement from the City of Lynn to the Lynn Water and Sewer Commission regarding a proposed easement to facilitate Lynn Water and Sewer's proposed facility at Neptune Boulevard Park, also known as Mcmanus Field. We've discussed this in the past. This is with the land swap at the old Edmonds Field down in the Saugus River. Councilor Walsh.
Yeah, just had a question. Is this to give them the actual piece of property at Mcmanus Field?
Right, so there's an order that goes along with that.
All right, I'd like to make the motion to approve with a stipulation that any of the irrigation that gets disturbed as they dig down there, or any of the lighting that gets disturbed, that it's replaced back to its original condition or better.
Okay.
All right?
Attorney Lamanna, we could make that a stipulation, correct? Okay. Does this order need to be read in? Okay. So the motion that we're looking for is an order stating that ordered that His Honor the Mayor is hereby authorized to execute an Article 97 disposition of certain parkland in the City of Lynn for combined sewer overflow control, a permanent easement, a temporary construction easement, and all necessary documents to effectuate the same.
I'll second that with the stipulations.
Somebody make that motion?
Make the motion.
Motion been made? Seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Number 3, redemption of Dearborn Ave's tax foreclosed property. Counsel Walsh.
Thank you. I spoke with the owner, and they had some difficulty with a sick family member over the last year, and it was difficult with COVID to get some of the proper documents addressed to make sure this is happening. And he assured me, and he's going to be paying the full amount for what he owes, and I'd like to make a motion to allow him for a late redemption.
Okay, motion been made, seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field.
Yes.
Okay, next we have the 2 small parcels in the Wyoma Square lot. As you know, this was discussed particularly for the True Value site a while back. The city's hired assessors to go out and assess the property, and they've come back with 2 options for both sites, one being a 5-year lease and one being a purchase with stipulations. Is Council Lozey here? Council Lozey and I met with the law department a little while ago and discussed this. So what we're going to be looking to do is to authorize the law department and the purchasing department to craft an RFP to go out on both sites, giving both options. One to rent per the assessment, and one to purchase.
Make it on the motion.
Okay, motion's been made.
Second.
Seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field.
Yes.
Okay, next, discussion regarding the Thurgood Marshall School Porter Street bid opening. I would like to point out that we have 3 representatives of the school committee with us tonight, and this land is under school committee control. John Ford, Donna Capola, Lorraine Gately, welcome. I know that Mr. Ford and Mrs. Capola both received all the copies, as did Ms. Gately, with all the proposals. Did you see them? Okay. Okay. So we had five proposals come in, various closing dates. Some of the proposals met the RFP at being over 55, and some did not. So I'm just going to read the bids. And again, it's all for over 55 housing. First one is Commonwealth Community Developers, bid $1,000. Two Life Communities bid $1.710 million. East Boston Community Development Corp. bid $2.5 million. Benai Barith bid $400,000. Harbor Light Partners bid $750,000. Some of the proposals were using the existing building and rehabbing that structure. I do know that the East Boston group, because I spent a day touring a lot of their facilities in East Boston, have done a remarkable job converting old school buildings into housing, particularly senior housing. I believe Benai Barith also wanted to use the existing building. The others wanted to demolish it and start over. The East Boston group, I think, was the closest to meeting our required closing date at, what was that, 180 days, Attorney Lamanna? Okay. Are there any comments? All the members of the committee were given grading sheets to go over, and believe me when I tell you, there was a lot to go over. So I thank all the members of the committee for their diligence, as well as the members of the school committee that went through it all and graded all the proposed offers. Are there any questions, comments?
And they were the highest bidder, right? The East Boston?
Yes. Yeah.
I'd like a motion to put it out for those folks.
Okay. Would anybody like from the school committee like to weigh in? This is just a committee meeting. This is nothing is accepted because ultimately, whatever we decide, we're going to have to go back before the school committee and seek the authorization to transfer that building back to the city, like we did before it timed out. So it would be much in the same manner as we dealt with it the last time. Right.
One of the requests that I know that the committee made is that it be for elderly housing, only because we have a concern for the number of students. Buildings don't hold what we don't have already, so that was our one concern. We wrote it in the proposal, so we have no other questions.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Capola. That's a big concern of ours, as well as the council president, who's the ward councilor as well. Mr. Ford.
Now, whatever is decided tonight will be brought to us and explained as to what it entails for us.
Correct. Yep. Council President Seer, would you like to say anything?
I know this has been a long process. It's been going on for over several years. We actually had one other time where we put it out for an RFP, and both bidders that came back, they didn't meet the requirements of the RFP. This time, you can see we've had at least 5 different companies come back with the RFP. I know that there were probably over several different companies that came in and took a look at it. The wish of the neighborhood is to keep this development, senior housing. It's always been the wish of the neighborhood. The zoning was changed for that several years ago, and I know it's just been a long process, and I want to thank everybody who's been working on this. The thing that I like the most is that one of the bidders can take possession of the property very quickly, assume responsibility for it, and close within a reasonable amount of time, where others were looking for a number of months, if not years, to do it. So again, I want to say thank you, and the neighbors of Ward 3, in that area, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. That property has been a blight on that neighborhood since the school closed. The condition of that school was a blight on the neighborhood before the school closed. And it's been a major security issue. There's been a number of fires there, people going in, people stealing copper, and also the sooner we can free ourselves of that property and have it secured by a new purchaser, the better off we will all be. So what's the wish of the committee?
I made a motion for that.
For which one?
The first one, the 2.5.
For the East Boston Community Development Corp.?
Second.
Okay, and this motion is to bring it forth to the school committee. Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Council Field.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Like you said, we worked diligently over the past weekend when we received all those proposals. They were all for senior housing. All of them looked pretty good. There were certainly a couple that stood out, and East Boston certainly stood out. It's the highest bidder, and not just because it's the highest bidder, but because they were very specific on what they're going to do for our seniors, different programs that are made available, and that's why I support the East Boston as well.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments? Roll call, please.
Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Number 6, discussion regarding the senior center. Attorney Lamanna. Probably should have had you sit a little closer to the podium. No one is coming up.
I just want to report that this is a priority. This is a priority for the mayor's office, the chief of staff, the health director, council on aging. We are actively looking for temporary locations as well as permanent locations. I hope to have an RFP ready for at least the late September meeting. For the first time, we'll be looking to purchase property as part of that RFP. But this is probably the number 1 priority on everyone's radar moving forward. So I just wanted to keep the council updated on that matter. We'll be having an internal meeting in the next week or 2 as well to discuss this issue.
Great. Thank you, Attorney Lamanna. And I'd just like to add one of the provisions of the RFP that went out on the Marshall site that every person that submitted a bid included was a satellite-type senior center to be possibly staffed by an Element Care, similar to what we've heard is being offered up at the Union site as well. So it would be great if we can have a main senior center and a couple of satellite sites. I think it would be great for our seniors. Number 7, request from DPW to dispose of surplus equipment. There was an attached list. Commissioner Hall is here. Would you like to speak? Oh, there he is.
Nice and close to the microphone.
Hi, folks. Thanks for having me. So what you have before you is a list of 23 lots of equipment that are surplus to our needs, mostly worn-out police cars, a couple of DPW vehicles, a few ISD vehicles, et cetera. And we would like to auction them off. We have an online auction company that we work with. We've worked with them successfully 2 other times. And any questions you have, I'll gladly answer.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Council LaPierre.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Andy, I imagine we're on a rotating schedule for replacing these that we auction off and get rid of because they're old.
That's correct, yep.
And we're keeping up with that and maintaining. And my question is, how are we doing as we've been designated a green city in terms of long-term strategic vision on what vehicles will be making more green or hybrid as we go along?
So one of the caveats of us becoming a green community was we had to adopt a fuel-efficient vehicle policy. And any vehicles that are, new vehicles that are purchased to replace these vehicles must meet that policy.
Okay. How many new are in the fleet in this budget year, do you recall, or in the last few years?
We've been buying vehicles at a much greater rate than we have in years past. I know DPW is going to get 6 light pickups, and I believe the fire department is in line for 5 administrative type vehicles.
And where are we in terms of the, what my colleague, Councilor Field, worked diligently on in terms of the trash? It's not a compactor, but it's like a sidewalk trash, new machinery that's going to hit some of the streets.
Those have been ordered, and we're waiting for delivery.
Okay. And those will meet the criteria too, I imagine?
Yeah, they're exempt because they're kind of special purpose vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And we're going to concentrate not just in the downtown, but in all the neighborhoods you envision with those?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got a new employee whose primary role is going to be to keep the northern strand bike trail / recreational area free of litter. But
in Boston Street corridor and in and around all those areas that we tend to accumulate litter.
Right.
Okay. And when do you think those will come in?
Not quite sure, but we ordered them probably 4 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you checking on that regularly or having?
Yeah, they're out of Canada actually, and I'm waiting for a response from the vendor basically.
Is this COVID related because it's international or not?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth.
If you wouldn't mind giving us a little update maybe next month in our September meeting.
Of course, yeah.
Where you are on those vehicles. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Council LaPierre. So we're looking for a motion
Motion
to
approved.
authorize to
Motion
sell the
approved.
23.
Authorize all that, sale, the sale.
Okay, motion been made, seconded. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh? Counsel Walsh absent? Counsel Field?
Yes.
Okay, is there any other business?
Great, thank you very much.
Councilor Field.
New business.
Thank you, Commissioner Hall.
Thank you.
Councilor Field?
Yep. We have a Wright Street, yeah, parcel ID 020-310-024. I'm putting forth a motion to put out to bid and to abutters only for landscaping and parking of 15 Avon Street.
Okay, this is a city, dormant city-owned property.
City-owned
Motion
property.
made and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh? Absent. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Okay, no other agenda items, no other new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Roll call?
Counsel Barton?
Present.
Present. Counsel Chakutis? Absent. Counsel Calucci? Present. Counselor Field?
Present.
Present. Counsel Hogan?
Present.
Present. Counsel LaPierre?
Present.
Present. Counsel Lozey?
Present.
Present. Counsel Net?
Present.
Present. Counsel Staben?
Present.
Present. Counsel Walsh?
Present.
Present. Counsel Seer?
Present. All rise for a moment of silence.
Mr. President, the family of my cousin Linda Boveri Prioli and National AFL-CIO President Richard Trumka.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Accept the minutes from the July 13th meeting.
Yes, sir.
Motion made.
Second.
Second.
Roll call. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Communications.
We have two communications from His Honor the Mayor. Dear councilors, I am hereby appointing the following members to serve on the Lynn Council on Aging effective immediately. Mr. Philip Alvarado, 50 Linway. His term will expire August 9th, 2027. Ms. Mary Joyner, 20 South Street. Her term will expire August 9th, 2027. Sincerely, Mayor Thomas M. McGee.
What's the wish of the council?
Move it forward.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion, roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes. Public hearings.
First public hearing is to amend the zone ordinance regarding Union Hospital, the reuse planning study.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor, please come to the podium. Hello, Aaron.
Thank you, Council President, members of the City Council. I'm Aaron Clausen, the Principal Planning Director for the City of Lynn, for the record. Wanted to speak on behalf and support of this proposed zoning amendment. As many of you know, this has been a lot of work to go through and think about how to reutilize and redevelop the Union Hospital. Most recently in 2018, kicking off a reuse study with MAPC in partnership with the Mayor's Office, City Councilor, in particular City Councilor Lozey, to identify what are the reuse opportunities for the site and ensure that recommendations for that reuse culminate in a redevelopment of the property that's consistent with the neighborhood. Most recently, the property owner, Mr. Solomini, and his project team, including Two Life Communities, conducted something like six to 9 months ago, a community meeting to review that redevelopment strategy and present a preliminary design for the site that benefited from, I think, a large participation from the neighborhood and the broader community. And I think it's fair to say was generally received supportive comments on their proposed plan. I've had the opportunity since that time to work closely with a number of different departments and agencies, including the Mayor's Office, LHAND, EDIC, and again, the councilor and the rest of the councils on this board, in kind of developing the proposed amendment that is aligned with the recommendations of that reuse study, is aligned with the objectives of the property owner and the neighborhood. I'd like to just point out too, real briefly that, working closely with Mr. Lamanna in the Solicitor's Office, Mike Donovan, and Jim Cowdell, to get this language presented to the council that I think threads the needle in carrying out the objectives of the reuse plan while meeting the needs and interests of the neighborhood. And just to briefly kind of reiterate, it's been a little while, but the objectives of that plan were to encourage redevelopment of the property that is sensitive to the surrounding context of the neighborhood, supports new economic opportunities for the reuse of their Union Hospital site, and encourage investment in the neighborhood, create new housing opportunities while limiting impacts on the school system, create new job opportunities to counteract job losses associated with the hospital's consolidation, and encourage uses that would contribute to the city's Lynn tax base. So those were the objectives that were driving the development of this amendment. Specifically, that the findings from that reuse study recommended a land use mix that was primarily around senior affordable housing, or senior housing with an affordability component at the very least, and then on the back side of the property, looking at single-family housing that might be then targeted to, again, seniors 55 plus. That was the recommendations that came out of the plan, and really the recommendation identified creating 2 sub-districts that could emerge out of the existing medical village overlay district. So that's what's being proposed, that there's an amendment to that overlay district that creates 2 sub-districts. There's the one out front, called the out front on Linfield Street, which would facilitate and allow redevelopment of the hospital property itself for a multifamily senior housing project, primarily with some ancillary uses like a retail and food service to support that housing. It also does continue to allow the medical village uses, which would be typical of what you might see in a medical village, like dental, medical offices, outpatient, that sort of work. And then on the backside, in the MVOD2, the second sub-district, allow for a smaller cluster-type development that would include up to 26 single-family residential units. Again, trying to address that concern around impacts on the school system. It's targeted to seniors or 55-plus housing restricted for those units. So that's the objective. I think we put together the kind of land use requirements, the dimensional requirements that will facilitate that, will support the proposed development on the site, and respectfully request that the council approve the proposed amendment. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them throughout this evening. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Thank you. Us short people need all the help we can get. Good evening. My name is Kathy Paul. I am the proud president of the North Shore chapter of Mass Senior Action Council and a member of the New Lynn Coalition. As a Lynn senior and as an advocate for equity, I ask you to vote in favor of the zoning ordinance change and to support the plan by the True Life developer. A 2019 report by UMass Gerontology proved what we seniors already know. 6 in 10 Massachusetts seniors do not have the income to meet basic needs. Did you know Massachusetts ranks 50th for senior income security? Remember, there are only 50 states. We are at the bottom of the barrel. Lynn, like most cities in the Commonwealth, rolled out the red carpet for market rate apartment development, adding units none of us or our children will be able to afford. Rental units instead of homes could invest in while adding to our traffic congestion and the sewer system, which is not able to keep up and poisons our beaches. Now, wait until all those additional toilets start flushing. The True Life plan is different. True Life will be the first of its kind in the city. The building will be staffed with someone 24 hours a day. The building will be staffed, yeah, I already read that. Activities and health support will be for everyone. The neighborhood will enjoy the outside space and the classes offered inside. This is what seniors need, and this is definitely what Lynn needs. We ask you to support True Life and give Lynn a much-needed win. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
Hi, my name is Barbara Mann. I live at 130 Eastern Avenue in Lynn. I'm in favor of the True Life plan also. There will be 150 units, and right now there's over 6,000 seniors that are waiting for housing in Lynn. So we need whatever help we can get. This will have no impact on the schools. It'll have limited impact on the traffic and less even than when it was a hospital. It brings quality, excuse me, it brings quality senior housing, which is really needed in Lynn. And it's also self-contained with the Element Care and the PACE program. Those are very important, especially for any senior activity. So I hope that you will vote in favor of it tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
I'm another Kathy, and I'm going to bat cleanup behind these two wonderful ladies. My name is Kathy Lowry. I live at St. Mary's on 30 Pleasant Street in Lynn, and I'm going to speak for all the people on the waiting list who can't speak for themselves. Most of them are my age or a little bit younger. I'm 73 years old. I live at the bottom of the Social Security amount. I make $367 a month Social Security. I get food stamps and Medicaid. And the realistic thing is, without the supported housing, I would not be able to have an apartment. I would be out on my ear. And like a lot of people that are insecure in their housing, they are on people's couches and with family, crammed in with people who are doing their best to put up with them. And it's not safe, it's insecure, it's not healthy. And if there are some things that Lynn can do to ease the burden, even a little bit, 150 units is just a drop in the bucket if there are 6,000 seniors waiting. But it's something, and we can build on that little by little over the years. These people deserve a home that is safe and healthy and affordable on their income. None of us thought when we were working hard all of our lives that we would ever live in an economic situation that we're in right now, where rents are thousands of dollars a month. And that doesn't even include utilities and heat and food. Please search your conscience and your heart and do the right thing and the common sense thing and make Lynn a beautiful place to live for all people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy.
Hi, just so we get as many Kathys as possible. I'm Kathy Burns. I'm the CEO at Greater Lynn Senior Services, also a board member of Element Care. But I did briefly, I won't do as well as the others, but wanted to show our support for this motion and for this project. More affordable housing for elders, as the other Kathy so eloquently said, is absolutely always what we need in Lynn and all cities. And in addition, Element Care provides care to such a broad range of folks and allows allows them to stay in their homes for much longer than they normally get to, and that's a beautiful thing too. And Two Life has a strong reputation of providing excellent elder-centered care as well. So this project is all good in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Mr. Council President, members of the City Council, Stephen Smith speaking on behalf of the Solomini Charitable Corporation and its principal, David J. Solomini Jr., who is present here this evening. After the city received notice of North Shore Medical Center's intent to consolidate its services in the Salem campus, the city engaged the services of the MAPC, a regional planning organization, to develop some recommendations as to how the Union Hospital property could be reused. They went through a public process that consisted of a series of meetings, primarily of abutters, neighbors to the Union Hospital site, where they got ideas as to what people would prefer to see in terms of the reuse of the site. They molded those ideas into alternatives of what those preferred uses might be, and then they compiled a report that made recommendations on how to implement those alternatives. Essentially, the recommendation of the report is to implement zoning changes that will allow for the reuse of the site, the front portion of the site, multifamily housing, in the rear portion of the property for age-restricted, detached single-family homes. And so we've been working as a group, and that group included, fortunately, Ward Councilor Wayne Losey, Aaron Clausen, who's already spoken, Michael Donovan from the Inspectional Services, Jim Lamanna from the Law Office, Mr. Gator from Hand, Mr. Caldell from the EDIC, to develop this 13-page document that you see tonight. And if you could just indulge me, I'd just like to quickly go through some of the portions of that, which I think are important for the City Council to be aware of before they take any consideration on supporting this amendment. This is just a blow-up of what I think you all see is the area involved. This is Linfield Street, Union Hospital property, the rear of the parking lot portion of the property. What's suggested in terms of zoning for the front property, the MVD1 overlay, is to allow for the development at a rate of 28 units per acre. It's about a 5.5 acre site, which means the maximum allowable development would be for 150 units. That's it. Any further development would require the city approval, absolutely through this Lynn City Council. It provides for density controls, not only dimensional controls, not only to control the density, but to provide some open space and protection of neighborhoods by way of setback. And so if you look along the closest neighbors to the Solomini property, which is the northern portion of the site, where the homes, the backyards of the homes on Dartmouth Street abut the property, there's going to be a minimum of 35-foot setback, essentially the setback of the closest portion of Union Hospital. That's going to be maintained. There's an open space requirement of 25% to maximize open space, to control density and the quality of the site itself. Building coverage, maximum at 40%. Again, maximizing open space at 60% of the way that it's calculated, a floor to area ratio of 1.25. And those are terms that for the first time are also going to be defined in the zone ordinance, and that's contained on the last pages of the proposed amendments. But all of those are intended to fulfill one of the objectives of the plan and study, which was to protect neighborhoods. The zone amendment require the senior housing multifamily be restricted to those of 62 years or older. And so if an objective is to provide quality senior housing, the terms of this amendment would provide for that. There's 15% affordable, a minimum of 15% affordable units in any amount of senior housing multifamily that's developed on the property. It's unique. There's an opportunity for limited retail and food service within the site, not just to serve the residents of this senior housing community, but also to be available and hopefully to draw in members of the surrounding neighborhood to be part of that community. It's not to compete with other businesses, but just to complement what they do for people in the facility and joining the facility. The second portion that the zone amendment deals with is the MVD2 site, the parking lot site. And that's where the recommendation was for age-restricted, detached, single-family homes. Age-restricted in that area is being defined as people, one owner who would be at least 55 years or older. Density control, there will be one unit allowed for each 15,500 square feet of area. It's about a 9.5 acre site. The maximum build out would be 26 single family homes. There's a 50% open space, dedicated open space. What's being proposed is the development would be in a cluster style development. If those who are familiar with the village at Nell's Pond, which is located a little to the northwest, about a quarter of a mile away, that's a 10-acre parcel with 30 units on it. There's a significant amount of dedicated open space. This actually is going to have more than that. There's a 20-foot buffer between any adjoining residential properties. And so there's a 20-foot buffer of undisturbed areas in addition to rear yard setback for each development to protect the privacy and the natural characteristics of the site as it reflects on abutters. Those are the parameters that are included in the proposed amendments themselves. If this go forward, the city's not done with seeing what might be proposed. It also creates a project review process to be administered to the planning board, where any development on either one of those overlay districts will be resubmitted to the city through the planning board, through a defined review process with input for various city agencies and departments, so they could express what their interests, concerns are, and mold that development for any building permits that are issued. There's been reference to partners. We have potential partners to get these projects off the ground more sooner than later. We don't want to see the site as it exists now, or soon to be exist as a vacant site, to be undeveloped. And so reference is made to Two Life. There's representatives here tonight who can speak if necessary, but those who know Two Life is an agency that's been in existence for more than 50 years. They administer quality senior housing units in the amount of 1,300 units or more throughout 4 communities in the state of Massachusetts. They have a history of success in providing for senior community housing. Reference is made to Element Care, formerly referred to as PACE. There's a portion of the site, one of the newer structures on the site, the front site, located right about here, mostly accessible off of Woodland North. This referred to as the South Building. If we go forward, we're optimistic Element Care would occupy that property to provide for senior health care services they do right now throughout the city of Lynn, not just to residents of either one of these parcels, but also to other seniors in that neighborhood. The rear portion, the MVD2 portion, as it stands right now, we're anticipating that Mr. Solomini, who has an extensive track record, successful track record of residential development in the city of Lynn, would also be the person responsible for the development of that area for the single-family detached homes. That's an overview, or maybe a little bit more than an overview, of what's before you, and I would gladly answer any questions that members of the City Council have right now or throughout the course of tonight's hearing.
Thank you, Attorney Smith.
Thank you.
If council has any questions, we'll ask you after the hearing. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dave Solomini, Jr. I own the Union Hospital site through Solomini Charitable Corp. When the hospital went out to bid, I bid on the hospital really as a community project. As many of you know, our family has supported the hospital over the years in a very strong way. And the reason why we bid on the hospital was to return it to the community as a community resource. So I'm here to ask for your support of these zoning amendments. I'd like to thank all of the public officials that over the last year have participated in creating the document that's before you, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. So thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Justin Anschwitz, 451 Eastern Ave. I'm a representative of the Carpenters Union. And Two Life Communities and Solomini family came as a community meeting back in November. And while they were talking about this great space that they were going to provide for our seniors, that they absolutely deserve it, an issue was brought up about construction, not only what was being built, but how it was going to be built. And the way they addressed it was with an absolute commitment to holding up community standards, which is something that we absolutely need in the city. The city has taken strong stances against wage theft and safety violations, and they said with no uncertain terms that they are absolutely committed to partnering with contractors that will do that, not only so that our seniors can live in a place with dignity, but also the people who build the building will also have dignity, and I would love to see this supported. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Please state your name, your occupation, where you live.
My name is Jim Cowdell. I am the Executive Director of EDIC, wearing 2 hats tonight. One is the Executive Director of EDIC, but also as a resident of Lynn. And in this case, an abutter to the rear property. My family and I live on Mary Ellen Drive. So I'm wearing 2 hats. I want to thank Councilor Lozey for his leadership in this issue. When the hospital closed, it was Councilor Lozey who made partners come up with some money so that we could hire a consultant. So EDIC then, on behalf of the city, hired the consultant, MAPC, which held several meetings. And the stakeholders were invited to those meetings. And I think really what Attorney Smith said, I would just echo very briefly, which is what came out of that was that rear parking lot, which my street abuts off of Woodland, is a huge parking lot. Every day I'm down there walking my dog if the gate's open. And it's a huge parking lot. And it's surrounded by single-family homes. And what the residents said was, what gets developed there should conform with the rest of that neighborhood. And I believe that the proposal that's before the body tonight, which is the rezoning, which will allow 26 single-family homes, does that. It conforms with what is around that area. And the other concern that the neighbors had is the impact to the schools. So if you're putting in homes there, how does that impact the schools? And the proposal tonight is for those homes to be 55 and older. So I think that the residents' concerns will be met. I think that the impact to the schools will be minimal. And then the main campus. And, that was, during these meetings, there was a lot of discussion about what could go there, what should go there. And really what came out of that, and Attorney Smith said it, was something for the seniors, desperately needed, right, which is housing. So tonight, what's before you is rezoning, which will lead to 150 affordable units for seniors. I think that that's awesome. We strongly support it, and I hope that your body looks favorably upon this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
Good evening. Council President and City Council, thanks for having this public hearing. I'm really just going to reiterate probably what everyone else has said, but just in a nutshell, the process, the beginning, the planning process led by the councilor from Ward 1 was a lot of pushback, back and forth, disagreements, and I think he came out, and the city has come out with, certainly law office and Aaron and everyone else, and of course the developer, Dave Solomini, with a really good plan, a strong plan. Number two is To Life. I've had the pleasure to work with this organization, mainly with people within the organization, and I can tell you, they were involved with DHCD up in the state for many years, and their services to tenants, they created so many new programs for housing authorities to meet the needs of our residents, and at times it's missing now, but these folks did a great job. I have all the faith in the world that this will continue. But most importantly, just checking today, our waiting list for senior housing, both state and federal, and someone hit the nail on the head, said 6,000. As of I left work today, it was 5,874 people on the waiting list. These are our people. These people are from Lynn, the vast majority. They have preference. And I think that's another thing with this New Life. We are going to be allowed, Wayne, and I forget what number we're finally able to agree on that the state would approve, but I believe at least a minimum of 70% Lynn residents would have preference there. So that's huge. But, when I talk about that, our waiting list, those are the numbers. When you're talking about close to 600 to 700 units that we have, the turnover is not great. So people are signing up and putting their name on that might never get housing, which is sad. So this is a major step in the right direction. I had the opportunity to sit here prior to that on the public property meeting, and it looks like there's going to be even additional units. So, these are major steps to create some affordable senior housing, and I really hope everyone votes in favor, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Charlie.
I am David J. Solomini Sr., a lifelong resident of the city of Lynn. I live at 56 Belmont Avenue up in Nantigoat Hill in West Lynn. And I thought I might end my days on the hill I was born at. But, as we get older, I'll be 86 this month, and my wife is 88, and I think we qualify for senior citizens, okay? But we figured we might end our days up there on the hill. But as time goes on, the house is bigger. We're looking forward to someday maybe being applied for housing that you're considering tonight. We don't want to go to Brooksea Village. We want to finish our days right here in the city of Lynn, where we were born, raised our family, and we continue. So please consider favorably this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Do any of the councilors have any questions for Attorney Smith? I haven't.
Well, the public hearing's still open for.
Yes.
Could-
Anyone who
at
wishes
the
to
end of
speak
that,
in
yeah, I'd like to have
opposition,
some
so.
comments at the end of that.
So I'm just asking if anybody has a question for the attorney. Seeing none, anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Councilor Field, do you have something you want to say, or?
No, I have to be careful of what I say, obvious. As a counselor, it was important and impressive to participate and attend the MAPC meetings with my colleague, Councilor Lozzi, and many of my other colleagues on the city council. I appreciate hearing from many of you here in the audience tonight, in the council chamber, and many throughout the city that reached out to myself and our colleagues. Unfortunately, due to conflict of interest laws, I cannot take a vote on this because I'm employed by the property owners, but I do appreciate all the calls that everyone has reached out to me and my colleagues, and we all certainly appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Field. What's the wish of the council? Councilor Lozzi.
Before I make that motion, Council President, I just want to reiterate some of the things that have been said, that going back to the original meetings with Metropolitan Area Planning Council, it was made known what the public would like to see with the reuse of Union Hospital, along with the recognition that there would be something residential in the rear. And this plan, I have to say, has come out. It's been a great end result. There are still some fine tuning that needs to be done, and I'm going to make a motion, but before I do, I would also like to ask a few questions of Attorney Smith. But to finish up, just reiterating what we heard tonight, I think this is a great thing. Lynn needs it. It's going to be a wonderful thing. However, we still have, for the neighbors, some questions regarding construction and what the zoning, what is it going to mean? And I think a few of the questions I've heard from the neighbors would be the ongoing construction. Is there some way that we could have some kind of a separation between the backyards of the property? And this, Attorney Smith, is there something that could be addressed for that?
Are we referring to the ongoing demolition or deconstruction,
No,
or the construction going forward?
The construction going forward.
It's difficult for me to answer that question because I don't know exactly if there's a developer of the site, who it might be. A lot of that depends on whether these zoning amendments go forward and when they go forward. If we're successful this evening, and Two Life continues to partners with going forward, we have every reason to believe that they will, then it would be a matter of sitting down with them and discussing what we need to do in terms of staging and neighborhood protection. But I think their track record is they're certainly open to that.
And we don't have a final plan for the design as of yet. Is there any timelines as to when that final design would come forth, and would it require any additional steps?
I'm going to answer that to the extent that I can, and then I'm going to defer to someone who might be able to be a little more specific, given some general assumptions. There is no specific plan for either parcel right now. What we have are some zoning parameters, and to bring some life, to take some of those out of the abstract, we've done some conceptual plans, not just for the front property, but for also the rear property, to show that if these terms like gross floor area, building coverage, lot coverage were implemented, setbacks, what would it look like? And we've looked at some of those conceptual plans, and we've kind of developed them and changed them as those dimensional parameters changed. And so there is no final plan. When there is a final plan, before a building permit can be issued, there's going to be a project review process that I referred to earlier that's going to allow the city to see exactly what's being proposed and to react to that and suggest what changes might be in everybody's best interest going forward, both from the development side and from the city side. As far as the timeline, I would defer to Mr. Salamini or anybody from that group who might feel a little more comfortable in answering that.
Aaron, is that a question you could answer as far as, is there any administrative review beyond this as to what will happen? In other words, if they come forth with a plan, is it just start breaking ground? Do they just file with the building department and go to work? Is there anything that, any type of additional, just to look at what they're doing?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I appreciate the question. So there has been a project review process that was created with this ordinance amendment. As we're calling it the project plan approval process through the planning board. And it's essentially a site plan review process that gets into the site planning, site development, and construction elements, then sort of those details that you're talking about. And you can get into things like construction mitigation. How do you deal with construction activities? How do you ensure that you mitigate impacts on neighbors, but also things around environmental impacts like stormwater controls and that sort of thing. At this stage in the game, as Attorney Smith indicated, really a lot of the plans that are submitted for the departments, the council at this stage, are really conceptual plans. They're not designed to the point of actual construction. So the next step, once this amendment presumably gets passed, if it does, the project proponents would come back to the planning board in both cases, whether it's under MVD 1 or 2, and submit a package that would be reviewed under both the dimensional and development regulations that are set out in this amendment. So, short answer is there is a process developed that would be carried out in a public meeting.
Okay, that answers that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Council?
No, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposed amendment to the zoning for this site.
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded. Before we have a discussion, is there a letter from the planning department?
A letter from the planning board who held a meeting regarding the proposed amendment and unanimously voted to approve.
Discussion? Any councilors? Councilor Staben.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to say, thank you to Councilor Lozzi, Mr. Salamini, To Life, and everyone who put so much work into this. I think that hopefully the vote that comes down tonight, as well as the vote that went through public property earlier regarding the Marshall site, makes it a pretty good day for seniors in Lynn. As we all know, and it's been said tonight, many of our seniors wait on waiting lists for years to get into affordable housing, and this is a way to responsibly address affordable housing in Lynn without negatively impacting schools, which, as we all know, are some of the most overcrowded and antiquated in the Commonwealth. So I think that this is a great night for seniors, as well as the project in the back, as it'll afford residents such as myself with grown kids now, left with big houses, looking to live on single level housing, and you kind of wind things down, will make our homes available to first-time home buyers, people looking to move up, and just add available inventory for single-family homes and to invite more home ownership in the city of Lynn. So I think this is a great win all around for our seniors and the residents of Lynn. So once again, Councilor Lozzi, Mr. Salamini, and those at To Life, thank you for all your work into this.
Thank you. Any other councilors? Councilor LaPierre.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't want to do speeches and all this because I really applaud all the efforts, as I echo Council Staben and Wood Council Lozzi. But I do want to say that this is a no-brainer, and we go back to obviously this council and our Lynn Community 2013 when Union Hospital and Partners, were contemplating staying open or not, and we know that answer. And I think this is one of the best things that could have come out of that, short of having a full-service hospital. And we all wanted a full-service hospital for our large community. Councilor Nett and I toured this property with Mr. Salamini several months back, And again, the use of it is a proper use. You've heard a lot of talk about housing tonight, and our Lynn residents who want to be born here and reside here, raise their family here, and ultimately pass away in our city that we all love. We know there's shortages. We know this is a very important, one of our top issues, I think, in the city is affordability and housing, in the housing market itself. And I was very happy to hear Justin's comments from the Carpenters Union that these will be built safely and efficiently and with everything in mind of putting folks to work in Lynn, so Lynn residents can work, play, and reside and in the city that we all love. So I look at, it's generational, this audience, as well, as we're having one of the first times we've had a live audience since COVID, and I see long-term Linners, lifelong Lynners, and I see a new generation as well. And I'm very hopeful tonight that this is the beginning of our city moving forward with this council's leadership, of course, partnering up with the mayor, but a lot of I commend Council Lozzi for really starting out the Knights of Columbus with MAPC and how the Planning Council Regional Planning Committee getting that grant and having partners step up to the plate, because that was not going to happen, and that was the beginning, the little sort of engine that sparked what we're about to embark on. So I really commend all the players involved. Thank you.
Any other councilors? So real quickly, I just want to say that, as Barbara was saying earlier, she lives at 130 Eastern Ave. I use that as an example all the time. There's over a 5-year waiting list to get into that building. And by doing what the Public Properties Committee did tonight, and if you approve this, that will add 300 units for affordable housing for seniors in the city. It will also add 2 satellite senior centers with a lot of other services that all seniors in our city can use, not just people in need of housing. Both companies that have in front of us tonight are well represented in their communities that they're coming from. East Boston, many of you have toured some of their buildings in East Boston and Quincy and Winthrop and in Boston itself. So these are very reputable businesses that are coming here for services for our seniors. Roll call.
Council Barton.
As a senior citizen, yes.
Yes. Council Chakoudas absent. Council Calucci.
Me too, yes.
Yes. Council Field.
Abstain.
Abstain. Council Hogan.
Yes.
Yes. Council LaPierre.
Enthusiastically, yes.
Yes. Council Lozzi.
Yes.
Yes. Council Net.
Yes.
Yes. Council Starbird.
As an over 55, but not quite a senior citizen, yes.
Yes. Council Walsh.
As a youngin', yes.
Council Seer.
Yes. I just want to also add that Councilor Jacutis could not be here. She really wanted to. Unfortunately, she could not be here tonight. Next public hearing.
Next public hearing is to allow input to the city's 5-year consolidated plan and the FY21/22 annual action plan.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Anyone in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed.
I think he's coming.
What is the
President.
wish of the council?
I think we have a speaker coming.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you in favor or are you opposed?
Damon's opposing.
Right.
Good evening. My name is Damon Harrison. I'm a lifelong Lynn resident who has lived in downtown Lynn at 7 Liberty Square My name is Damon Harrison. I'm a lifelong Lynn resident who has lived in downtown Lynn at 7 Liberty Square for over 30 years. First of all, I want to make it perfectly clear that I support the Lynn CDBG Consolidated Plan process. Who wouldn't? It includes over $17 million in the form of block grant, home, and ESG funds committed to Lynn over the next 5 years. These much-needed monies are granted to this city to support housing and economic initiatives that benefit low-income and moderate-income earner residents of Lynn. I stand here before you tonight because I personally oppose the view that Lynn's governing bodies, CD, EDIC, and yes, this city council are doing their very best for the well-being of low-income residents of Lynn. Absolutely more can be done. Allow me to cite an example of my utter frustration and grave concern that our Lynn City leadership is overtly displacing low-income residents and families of Lynn. As previously stated, I live in downtown Lynn. I love my neighborhood. The cultural diversity is heartwarming. People of all races walk throughout my sidewalks each and every day. They bring with them music, food, and ethnic uniqueness that makes Lynn a wonderfully dynamic city. However, I woke up 3 years ago to witness what would become the beginning phase of my slow but imminent eviction process from the neighborhood I call home. The city planners have approved and granted construction of many huge monstrosity market rate apartment buildings. These nearly 1,000 units increase density, destroy green spaces, and more importantly, displace local residents. The average monthly rent for these apartments is $1,700 to $2,000 for a single bedroom. I believe the city planners have concocted a strategic marketing plan to lure out-of-town, overpriced Boston residents into Lynn. So be it. And yes, in the long run, this will benefit Lynn. However, I believe the city planners also have a moral obligation to maintain affordable housing units for hard-working, low-income residents who want to still call this city their home. City council members, I implore you to reach out and connect with local housing advocacy groups and concerned Lynn residents to begin a real dialogue for creation of affordable housing. In closing, I say to you, you have before you very viable ways to do so. The CDBG Consolidated Plan Funds and the Housing Lynn Plan, collectively used together, can provide concrete initiatives to preserve safe, clean, affordable housing for Lynn residents for decades to come. I thank you, and we look forward to working with you to achieve our mutual goals. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none. Do we have any letters?
We have a letter from James Marsh, the Community Development Director. Dear Honorable City Council, I write in support of 2 documents that are currently pending before your honor body: our annual action plan and our 5-year consolidated plan. These plans are required by the federal government for the City of Lynn through my office to receive annual community development block grant funding, home grant funding, and emergency solutions grant funding. My department has undertaken a comprehensive process in accordance with the Department of Housing and Urban Development. These guidelines to prepare the city's 5-year consolidated plan / fiscal year 2021 annual action plan and its fiscal year 2022 annual action plan. As required by HUD, the 5-year consolidated plan provides an analysis of the community's needs and priorities related to housing, community development, economic development, public services, and infrastructure. The plan was prepared with input from Lynn residents, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and other stakeholders. Information from over 30 community plans and studies was also reviewed to inform the development of this plan. The full extent of the public participation process and relevant plans and studies is provided in the plan. The annual action plan provides a description of the activities that the city will fund with 3 HUD entitlement grants. Community Development Block Grant, $4,902,908. Home Grant, $1,859,564. And the Emergency Solutions Grant, $428,988. Thank you for the opportunity to provide these inputs on the plans. Should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Regards, James M. Marsh.
It's the wish of the council.
Motion approved. Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes. Next public hearing.
Next public hearing is a petition of Joseph Masucci to allow food trucks at the Bowser Complex on 90 O'Callahan Way for the Vanessa Masucci softball tournament on August 14th, 2021.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor?
I'll be quick. We're having a fundraiser for a scholarship in memory of my sister, and we just want to have a food truck. It's going to be a long day for people. So it'll be there from 11 to 3 o'clock. Wanderlust Global Food Truck.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Anyone in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? That part of the hearing is closed. Councilor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to approve. I just want to make sure that any trash that's accumulated by the food truck is removed by the petitioners.
So you're making a motion to approve with the stipulation that all trash be picked up at the end of the event.
Correct.
Right? You agree to that? Okay.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. Councilor Field.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've attended this event in past years with other colleagues of mine. It's a well-run event, and I think it's important that we support it.
Thank you. Councilor LaPierre.
I would also, just to echo that sentiment, and Vanessa Masucci was a wonderful Lynn educator in our school system, and the event is well-run and benefits scholarships of Lynn students, and we thank the Masucci family for everything they've done the last few years.
Thank you, Councilor. Anyone else? Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes. Next public hearing.
Petition of Lynn Teachers Union and the City of Lynn to allow food trucks at the Lynn Vocational Technical Institute parking lot, Mcmanus Field, sponsoring a welcome back to school event, vaccination clinic on August 30th, 2021.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor?
Good evening, council members and President Seer. I am Sheila O'Neill, Lynn Teachers Union President and resident at 200 Locust Street. We are doing a collaborative event with the Lynn City and the Lynn Public Schools and the Teachers Union for Welcome Back to School 2021. Very encompassing with many different bodies, North Shore Medical Center, Lynn Community Health Center, Family Engagement Center, also working together, and just like they have the license for food trucks if they want to be there. We are not earning any money from them or making any funds from them. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. What is the wish of the council? Councilor Hogan.
Yes, same thing, just before we make a motion to approve, same stipulation with the trash cleanup from the food trucks. And I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion is made with a stipulation that all trash be picked up at the end of the event. Seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Seer?
Yes.
We have the petition of Elrad Chenko to transfer a Class 2 auto dealer license from 136 Cottage Street to 64 Venice Street as Radicco Motors Group LLC, a used vehicle sales company via virtual experiences. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the council? Councilor Hogan.
Before I make a motion to approve, I'd like to do the same thing we have done on other virtual experience vehicle sales, put those stipulations on it, and I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made with the stipulations, seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Seer?
Yes. Next public hearing.
Petition of Theodore Contos, 30 Reservoir Road, Danvers, for an apartment house use with 12 units total. 2 of those will be elderly restricted at 56-58 Ocean Street.
Councilor Barton.
Mr. President, motion to continue to the next meeting.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci? Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Seer?
Yes. Public hearings to be set down.
You have the petition of Good Chemistry for a sign permit at 696 Western Ave. Petition of Mass General Brigham for a sign permit at 480 Linfield Street. Petition of Roosevelt Ruse, owner of Tipico Central Americano, for permission to add a wine and malt license at an existing restaurant at 68 Market Square. Petition of Crown Castle for underground conduit placement at 8 Silsby Street. Petition of K&K Development Corp. for 181 residential units with shortage of first-floor commercial space.
What's the wish of the council?
Let him down.
Motion made,
Second.
seconded.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The last item, it's not on my updated agenda. What was it again?
The petition of Theodore Contos, is that the one?
If a petitioner can come in before
Oh, I'm
4
sorry.
o'clock.
Yes, K&K Development, it came in this morning.
So if a petitioner can come in before 4 o'clock to ask for a public hearing or a city council meeting, it can be put on the agenda,
Okay.
only to have it put on the agenda as a public hearing,
Down for.
to be set down,
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, it just, I didn't see it on here.
Yeah, it wasn't put on there because it came in
Okay, thank you.
after this agenda was made today. So the motion is made, seconded, discussion, roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci? Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Seer?
Yes. Committee reports. Personnel Committee, Councilor LaPierre.
Thank you, Mr. President. We just had an informational meeting in the Personnel Subcommittee. We were introduced to our new arts and cultural planner, Lucretia Thompson. No votes were cast.
No votes were cast, so we don't have to accept any.
Accept it for the file.
Accept it for the file, motion made, seconded.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Ways and Means, Councilor Staben.
Counsel Net?
Huh?
Counsel Net?
Oh, Ways and Means, I'm sorry, I was thinking public properties.
Okay.
Ways and Means, Councilor Net.
Thank you, Mr. President. All unanimous voted by the committee to approve. I make a motion to accept. Thank you.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Did you read all the transfers?
Certify $258,853 for the 2022 summer youth works jobs. Certify $29,000 for the disbursement and use of COVID-safe cooling strategies funding program. Certify $125,000 for the early childhood prevention grant. Certify $208,000 for the Glean K through 5 grant program. Certify $200,000 for the 21st CCLC SALT grant program. Certify $123,521 for the Gateway City PAC summer grant program. Certify $147,367 for the Barry Park Infrastructure Grant Program. Certify $38,606 for the Proficiency-Based Outcomes in Languages Other than English Grant Program. Certify $4,320 for the Teacher Diversity Summer FY22 Grant Program. Certify $1,616,962.41 for the Shuttered Venue Operations Grant Program. Certify $100,000 for the 2021 Community Planning Grant Program. Certify $30,000 for the installation of benches and shade trees on the commons for the city's elderly to enjoy. The following are laid over transfers from July 13th meeting. $900,000 to fund the statutory workman's comp fund, $100,000 to fund statutory unemployment benefits fund, $209,500 to fund the statutory public safety injured on duty medical expense fund, $109,500 to fund the statutory public safety injured on duty medical expense fund. Next, we have an order to request the DPW Commissioner to look into feasibility of installing 3D crosswalks and report back to the City Council. Order that the City Clerk be directed to advertise the meetings for the qualified voters of the City of Lynn, which will be held in several polling places designated by the warrant for the city preliminary election on Tuesday, September 14th, and the final election on November 2nd. Polls will be open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. All citizens will, in the precincts in which they are entitled to vote between said hours, give their votes for mayor, councilor at large, ward councilor, and school committee. The polling locations are Ward 1, Precinct 1, Shoemaker School, Ward 1, Precinct 2, 3, and 4, Sisson School, Ward 2, all precincts, St. Pius Lower Church Hall, Ward 3, all precincts, Marshall Middle School, Ward 4, all precincts, Harrington School, Ward 5, all precincts, Lynn Tech Annex, Ward 6, all precincts, Lynn Tech Fieldhouse, Ward 7, all precincts, Breed Junior High. Final is a resolution that the City of Lynn file and accept grants with and from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order of the Energy and Environmental Affairs for the Parklands Acquisition for Communities Program for improvement to Barry Park. Whereas Barry Park is a treasured community-wide set asset and the improvement to this recreation area is a city priority as evidenced by the most recent open space and recreation plan. Whereas Barry Park is dedicated to park and recreation purposes under MGL Chapter 45, Section 14. Whereas Barry Park's ultimate restoration, guided in principle by both user and neighborhood requests and/or the city's open space and recreation plan, will greatly enhance this facility by removing inaccessible and unsafe bleachers that block off access to the park, providing new accessible bleachers, paths, and entrances and shade trees. Whereas the overall cost and fiscal budget constraints prevent the city from proceeding forward with implementation of this project. Whereas the project was viewed as a series of phases to be implemented over time, by priority as fiscal resources become available, with the intention of securing grant funding when and if available to assist in this effort. Whereas the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs is offering reimbursable grants to cities and towns to support the preservation and restoration of urban parks throughout the Parkland Acquisitions and Renovations for Communities Grant Program. Whereas this phase of Barry Park Improvement Project will cost a total of $580,000, and the city will appropriate 100% of the total project cost. Finally, now, therefore, be it. The mayor be and is hereby authorized to file and accept grants from the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. The mayor be and is hereby authorized to take such actions as are necessary to carry out the terms, purposes, and conditions of this grant to be administered by the Office of Community Development. That this solution shall take effect upon passage. That's it.
Done?
Done.
Motion made, seconded, discussion, roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis, absent. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Starbed?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes. Utilities Committee, Councilor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. Unanimous vote of the committee was a motion to approve.
Motion made, seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Now it's public properties.
License.
Where?
Field's turn.
You always skip Mr. Field.
Utilities, licensing committee, I'm sorry. How come I always forget you?
I don't know, I'm quiet.
Your head is so red right now, it's like I see steam coming off of it.
I'm okay.
It's pretty amazing. I thought you were a shy, easygoing kind of guy.
We gotta keep licensing either in the beginning or the end so we get it, not in the middle. Thank you, Mr. President. We do have a
Licensing.
unanimous vote by the
Councilor
committee.
Field.
Motion to approve.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
I was just out in the sun too long, that's all.
I didn't realize there was that much there and you were at the top. Is it public properties now? Councilor Starboard.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a lot going on, so you might want to take a seat. The first item was a request from Deborah Marita to use the front steps of City Hall in the Johnson Street parking lot on September 12th for use in the Guatemalan Parade. Unanimous vote of the committee. Motion approved.
Motion made, seconded, discussion, roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Starbed?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh? Counsel Walsh? Absent. Counsel Seer?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilor Starboard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Second item was proposed easement from the City of Lynn to the Lynn Water and Sewer Commission regarding proposed easement to facilitate Lynn Water and Sewer's proposed facility at Neptune Boulevard, Park, Mcmanus Field, with the order that His Honor the Mayor is hereby authorized to execute an Article 97 disposition of certain parkland in the City of Lynn for combined sewer overflow control, a permanent easement, a temporary construction easement, and all necessary documents to effectuate the same. Unanimous vote of the committee. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion, roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Starbed?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh? Absent. Counsel Seer?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilor Starboard.
We also had the redemption of tax foreclosed property on Dearborn Avenue. Unanimous vote of the committee. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion, roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Starbed?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh? Absent. Counsel Seer?
Yes. Councilor Starboard.
Thank you. We also had discussion regarding two parcels at the Wyoming Street Square parking lot. We had previously hired independent assessors to go out, assess the value, came back with two different options. The vote of the committee was to send an RFP out on both of those sites, giving rental options and purchase options. Unanimous vote of the committee. Motion to approve.
Second. Motion made, seconded, discussion, roll call. Councilor Lozey.
Yeah, no, not too much to add, other than the fact that I want to thank Councilor Starboard and the Public Property Committee for working on this and being patient, along with the individuals regarding the property. And I think that this came out the best way, having this assessment performed, very transparent. We're able to move forward with what we hope will be the best result for the businesses and the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Lozey. Anyone else? Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis absent. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Starbed?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh? Absent. Counsel Seer?
Yes. Councilor Starboard.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had discussion on the bid opening on the Thurgood Marshall Middle School site, former Thurgood Marshall Middle School site on Porter Street. We had 5 bidders on that. The Public Property Committee unanimously approved accepting the $2.5 million from the East Boston Community Development Corporation, and to bring that forward to the school committee to request that they transfer back to the city so we can commence the sale. Unanimous vote of the committee, motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion, roll call.
Counselor Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Chakutis absent. Counselor Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Stabbed?
Yes.
Counselor Walsh? Absent. Counselor Seer?
Yes. Counselor Stabbed.
Thank you. We had, for informational purposes, an update on the senior center from Attorney Lamanna. We had a request from the DPW to dispose of 23 pieces of DPW equipment in form of police cars. Unanimous vote of the committee, motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion, roll call.
Counselor Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Chakutis absent. Counselor Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Stabbed?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh? Absent. Counselor Seer?
Yes. Any other business?
Yes, and in new business, we had,
Counselor Stabbed.
I'm still up. This will be the last one, until the end of the meeting. Regarding the RFP, sending out an RFP for the sale of city-owned property on Wright Street to abutters for the purposes of landscaping and/or parking only. Unanimous vote of the committee, motion to approve.
That was
Motion
15
made,
that was 15 Avon.
seconded, discussion.
15 Avon.
The actual property is Wright Street.
Okay. Okay.
Motion made, seconded, discussion,
No, I thought it was Avon Street.
roll call.
Counselor Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Chakutis absent. Counselor Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Stabbed?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh? Absent. And Counselor Seer?
Yes. Counselor Hogan.
Tomorrow's a big day in the city of Lynn. We welcome home our Olympian, Rashida Ellis. It's going to start off at Lynn English tomorrow at 4:45 with a motorcade through the city by the Lynn Fire Department, Lynn Police Department, and the Essex County Sheriff's Department. And it'll end on the stairs at City Hall with a nice ceremony, just dedicating the day to Rashida Ellis and welcome her home from Tokyo 2020 Olympics. And it's a big day for the city of Lynn tomorrow. Welcome home, Rashida.
She's a gold medal winner in our eyes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Counselor Walsh.
New business. I'd like to make a motion to accept Needham's Landing Park under the Article 97 in the new business. This is part of that transfer of land between Mcmanus Field that we're losing to the pump station project, and they're replacing the parkland here at Needham's Landing.
Motion made, seconded, discussion, roll call.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Chakutis absent. Counselor Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Stabbed?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Seer?
Yes. Any other business? Counselor Stabbed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to add, ordered that a public hearing be set down for September 7th, 2021, to amend the City of Lynn zone ordinance and the City of Lynn zone map to rezone the southeasterly side of Parrott Street from Chatham Street to Fayette Street as an R1 district. Following the proposed zoning amendments, both sides of Parrott Street will be zoned as a single-family zoning district.
Motion made to have set down for a public hearing.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion, roll call.
Counselor Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Chakutis absent. Counselor Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Lozey?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Stabbed?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Seer?
Yes. Any other business? It's the wish of the council.
To adjourn.
Motion made, seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're watching Lynn Community Television, Lynn's public and government access station.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Valerie Bong, and I will be one of the moderators for tonight. Before I introduce myself, I want to warmly thank each and every one of you for being here tonight.